You know, folks, you ever squeeze some toothpaste out of the tube, get too much out of the tube, you'll never get it back in the tube. And that's what's going on right now. That's what's caused this meltdown, this panic mode from the J6 Unselect Committee. All these liars from the left, the mainstream media, even some rhinos that have carried this propagandist lie for 2+ years. And now there is no way to hide the fact that they're lying. And this should cause people to be catching charges. I'm not talking about the defendants, J6 defendants. I'm talking about the people that lied against them, including a lot of our three-lettered agencies. I think this is only going to become more and more apparent that the government was in the wrong here, more than the folks that stepped into that building. And I hopefully, the final result will be we will get these folks out of jail and hopefully get some compensation for them out of the deal as well. These folks deserve to be released. I don't care what their charges was at this point. 2 years is more than enough time to sit in jail for the sentences these folks were given or not given and just stuck in there without trial. It's a sad situation, but hopefully we're going to get some clarity behind it, because we're definitely getting some clarity behind at least the evidence. The footage doesn't lie. And I just want to say thanks to Kevin McCarthy for doing the right thing. And hats off to Tucker Carlson for being brave enough to even go up against Rupert Murdoch and throw out at least that first day of footage out there. Now, he's done a couple more um, anchor clips about what's going on with the J6. He hadn't really brought us a lot more footage yet. I don't know if he will or he won't. It probably depends on his bosses at Fox. But it's too late. The toothpaste is out of the tube. People that believed everything they were told about the J6 event are now starting to question their sources, and I am so glad for it. This is just another way we're going to red pill people into the situation where they never vote for a Democrat again, and they realize most of our government agencies are not here to help the people, but are here to control the people. And that's exactly what this was. There's so much information coming out about this. This is information overload. The transparency, just a little bit that we've had, has blown the doors off of so many of the lies. The meltdown is epic. Everywhere you look on mainstream media, you see Chuck Schumer, CNN, MSNBC, Politico, tons of them just trying to spin doctor this, and it's too late to spin doctor this into something else, because we now can see the footage with our own eyes. And if that's not enough to convince a lot of these people that they were lied to, nothing is. So I think this is a win for the Republican Party, for the conservatives, and this doesn't sit well for the left, considering they're all proven to be liars at this point. Every single one of them, including a lot of these Adam Kinzinger, Liz Cheney types. Now, I can't wait till these folks get out of jail behind this evidence. I can't say when it's going to happen, but it does look like the Department of Justice is being sued by lawyers now, and spouses and parents of these people that are locked up, over the fact that the exculpatory evidence was not available during these trials. And I think that is what we really need out of this more than anything, is for these folks to get out of jail, to be exonerated of all their charges. 2 years is more than enough time to sit in jail behind a trespassing charge. And that's what I have to say. More than 90% of the people that are in that jail were there just because they thought they were doing the right thing, considering the current situation of our country. Trespassing is not a felony. 2 years in jail behind trespassing charge is ridiculous. And even people that don't follow politics know this. And I think every time we find out another drop of information, whether it be about this or the Twitter files, or just the blatant exposure of how crappy the Biden administration is, like with what happened in Ohio, while Biden was in Ukraine, it's showing people each and every day that the Democrats, the Biden regime, do not care about the public. They want your vote, but in reality, they could care less about anybody in this country. They care about power and they care about money, and they seem to put other countries before us, even today. And it's just a matter of time before 2024 happens, and we've had a full year and a half of weeks like we've had this week. Exposure. When we expose enough of these lies, I think we will have enough people in this country willing to not vote for the Democrats or vote for Trump in 2024, because we got to fix this stuff. Now, I've got a great article here for you. Got my goggles on. I just wanted to read it to you. No video on this one. But before I get into the article, let me just let you know, on Thursday nights we do a show, 5, 6, or 7, depending on your time zone. On the Minutemen show, it's on American Patriot News Channel. There's usually about a half a dozen of us podcasters over there discussing the news of the week. And I'm sure this week we'll be discussing a lot of what has happened involving the meltdowns with Tucker Carlson's information he's brought out. I do want to say hats off and thank you to Kevin McCarthy, Tucker Carlson, and even Elon Musk, who is sharing and tweeting this stuff out like crazy, just because everybody needs to know. So we are red pilling these folks left and right. We got Joe Rogan, Elon Musk, tons of people, Russell Brand. We got tons of people that would never support a conservative, willing to stand up and say, hey, this wasn't right. I don't care who you vote for. This wasn't right. And I think it is just one more thing that is going to help us get where we need to go in 2024. You know what I'm talking about. The man behind me, he's going to get there. It's just a matter of time. And I believe, just my opinion, Kari Lake will be his running mate, according to speculation and conversations I've seen this week alone. That would be a great team, Trump and Kari Lake. Now, let me go ahead and get into this story before I ramble on too much longer, but I just want to let y'all know it is a good day to be alive, even with all this horrible stuff going on in our country, because 2023, like I said before, is the year of exposure. We're finding out about the laptop. We're finding out about why the borders are open. We're finding out that a lot of the Arizona and other states' representatives are involved in the money situation involving the cartels of all people. We're finding out about the obvious, the J6 lies as well, the big Russia hoax. All that stuff has been disproven. It seems like everything the left has been throwing at us for 2+ years has been a total lie. And I think even the lefties are starting to figure that out. And if they're not totally brainwashed, some of them got a little bit of common sense left in their brain. Some of them are going to come around to our way of thinking before this is over, because nobody likes to be lied to. And I think that is the best answer for this situation. I want prosecution. I want Chuck Schumer. I want Adam Schiff, all these folks that have done their damnedest to ruin our country, destroy our country, keep people locked up for minimal charges, gone after Trump for things that were not even real, just fabricated lies at this point. I can't wait for all this stuff to blow up in such a way that we start getting our country back. And it starts with this exposure. It ends with prosecution in the process of the 2024 race going on. That's the way I believe this is going to roll out. I don't think that the House is playing games at this point. They only have so much power in prosecution, but every day that they expose a little more of this corruption is another day that we're winning, because for every person that hears the truth that isn't a Republican, still is considering, I've been lied to. And if that's not enough to make you want to change your way of thinking, nothing is. Now, let me go ahead and get into this video, folks. This is a great win for us, folks. Says Trump judge rules Joe Biden catch and release policy is illegal. And I'm glad to hear it. It says Trump nominated Judge Kent Weatherall ruled on Wednesday that Joe Biden catch and release is illegal. Joe Biden opened up the U.S. border when he came into office in January of 2021. Since this time, over 5 million illegal aliens have crossed over the border due to the fact that the doors were wide open. Judge Weatherall on Wednesday put a stop to Joe Biden's catch and release policy of illegal aliens captured on the southern border. The Biden regime must be very upset that the invasion was just shut off for now. That's awesome. Basically, get to stay on the other side of the fence, but we get to hold you until we decide if you're worthy of coming into this country through the asylum process. That's what slowed them down originally with Trump's plan. And it looks like now it has been repealed back to the Trump policy. And hopefully this will stick and stick around. And it'll be one of our tools to help slow down this migration of everybody from South America and 151 other countries from coming this way if they do not have the legal right to be here. It says the federal judge on Wednesday vacated the Biden administration policy that released the prospective asylees at the U.S.-Mexican border rather than detaining them. Judge Kent Witherell, who was nominated by Trump, ruled that the policy, which its Republican critics condemned as catch and release, and that's exactly what it was, violated the Immigration and Nationality Act, the INA, and tore into the Biden administration's handling of the southern border. Now, this is what the judge said about it. The evidence establishes that defendants have effectively turned the southern border into a meaningless line in the sand with little more than a speed bump for aliens flooding into the country by prioritizing alternatives to detention over actual detention and by releasing more than 1 million aliens into the country. I think it's about 4 or 5 million at this point, to be honest. And these are actual detention by releasing more than 1 million aliens into the country on parole or pursuant to the exercise of prosecutorial discretion under a wholly inappropriate statute without even initially removing proceedings, Witherell ruled. The Biden administration in 2021 is in implementing this policy, which released many migrants into the country as they awaited immigration proceedings. The asylum process cited a new relief overcrowding in detention facilities amid the pandemic. Now, that is all there is about this. So this is kind of a probably a first of many stories involving this. But as far as I can tell, this is good news. We at least get to slow them down. If they've got to sit in, I guess, detention centers until we figure out if they qualify to come into our country, that will definitely slow these folks down. Hopefully they will learn. They will get to the point where enough people put enough information out there to cause enough backlash that we actually get to start implementing the stay in Mexico as well. Which, if you got to stay in Mexico and then you got to prove that you're worthy to be here before we let you in, you get at least those two done, our country will be in much better shape as far as the mass migration into the country. Now, that's all I got for you folks on this particular video. But I do want to let you know transparency has run amok, and I am glad to see it, or should I say, the lies have run amok, and I'm glad to see the transparency is finally coming out. We've got the Twitter files being exposed with Matt Taibbi in the House today, and he's actually put out 19 different Twitter files involving the weaponization of the government against its people with the big tech platforms, including Twitter. We found out about the laptop. We found out the Russia things was a total hoax. We're finding out about the whole J6 event was totally narrated and lied about. And in turn, hopefully, a lot of these folks will be able to get their day in court and actually have a fair chance of getting out of jail behind the fact that the evidence against them was definitely narrated and cherry-picked for the prosecution's sake to keep these folks in jail. This was about trying to take Trump out of office with the original impeachment process, and it was also about trying to keep people from ever questioning the people-picking process again. And I don't think it's going to work out so well for them in the end. 2023 is the year of exposure. 2024 will be the year we take our country back and, God willing, get some justification, some justice for all these folks that have done their best to destroy our country and destroy people's lives. That's all I got for you folks. Everybody have a great day. Like, subscribe, and share to Vote of Patriots. And I want to thank everybody for showing up. My number's been growing a little bit over the last couple of days, and I am muchly appreciated. It does my heart good to know that all my efforts and time I put into trying to bring y'all the truth, like what's going on with Tucker Carlson, Kari Lake, our country, and all these particular stories I just rattled on about. Glad to be able to bring y'all that stuff, and I just wanted to let everybody know I do appreciate everybody that comes to this channel, comes back to this channel each and every day just to hear a little more of the situation of the country. We got to stick together as patriots, and I just want to thank everybody for that. Over and out, folks. Have a great day.